Just like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, some of the things she tried out were too hard, too soft, and one bed was just right. Likewise, when students are reading books, they can come across books that are too hard, too easy, or just right. When a student is reading, we want to make sure that they're spending the majority of their time, like almost 80% of their time, reading books that are just right. So it's very important to understand what is just right for a student. And especially elementary students, it's very important to understand that this level and difficulty changes really quickly and rapidly. So we want to be able to be aware of where they're at without pushing them too hard or expecting them to read too easy of a text all the time so they don't grow. So if a student is reading, whether it's their choice or your choice, a book that's too hard, their stamina is not going to last very long. Their reading's going to sound bumpy. The student is not going to understand the story. So if you ask them what does it mean or what's happening or what do you remember, they're just not going to remember it. It's really hard for them to stay focused. This is where I often see students get angry, frustrated, um, or get really funny trying to escape and get out of reading, go to the bathroom a lot because the book is just too hard. You know, you know when a book is too hard when five or more words on a page are unknown to the student. They say the wrong thing. They may try to read the word, but they can't figure it out, or they might know how to read the word, but they totally read it wrong. So even simple mistakes, if there's five or more mistakes on a page, then it's too hard. That would be like a chapter book, a page of like a chapter book. Now, if a student is reading at a picture book level and there's only like a couple lines of text on a page, like very few, like early readers where there's only like one or two lines on a page, then I would say it'd probably be five words for the whole book. And if it's five or more, then it's too hard. And it's just going to be like throwing a student in the deep end of a pool and expecting them to stay there for a long time without drowning. We don't want kids to drown, and we also don't want them reading books that are too hard. Now, a book that is just right is going to have only two or three words that they don't know or they accidentally mess up. Now, if a student makes a mistake and they fix it, that's not considered an error. But these are words that they don't fix, they don't catch. Two or three, it's fine. Everyone makes mistakes. But this allows the student to read at a pretty smooth pace with very few errors. So they're able to understand the thing and even understand it at a deeper level because their brain isn't focused on the words. They can now transition over to spending all of their energy thinking about what is this story about and trying to remember that. This also helps students bridge from reading at a word by word level, which is often slow and choppy, to now a big sentence by sentence, which is much more meaningful, and that allows for more fluency and a more smoother, faster read. Books that are too easy, there are no mistakes. Students can read it really smooth, no problems, and it's not really challenging the student. Now, just because a book is too easy doesn't mean I never want a student to read it. I pick up books that are too easy for me all the time. Most adults do as well. Therefore, we want to allow students to be able to relax every once in a while, but they can't camp out there. I don't want them spending even 50% of their time of their day reading books that are way too easy for them because they're never going to get challenged and they're never going to grow. We want them to get stronger and better as readers. So at least for that 20 minutes a day, I always say they really need to be reading at a hard, challenging level that's right where they're at, not too hard. I'd prefer more than that, but at least 20 minutes a day should be right where they're at, not too easy, not too hard. Just like books that are too hard are kind of like throwing kids into the deep end and expecting them to stay there for a long time. Downhill books are kind of like the shallow end of the pool where the steps are. Now, when students go to the pool, they do go to the deep end. They want to show you that they can do hard stuff, but they don't stay there very long, if at all. Same with the shallow end. Sometimes kids like to hang out, they'll rest down there, but they always want to go back to where it's like just right, just perfect for them. And just like reading, we want to make sure that they're spending the majority of their time where it's challenging and yet not too challenging.